Hello guys, so welcome back to this session of theory of machines or theory of machines if we're talking about. It's a wonderful subject of mechanical engineering. I always talk about generally that Sir James Watt is known to be the godfather of mechanical engineering. And my dear, each and every configuration of Sir James Watt, whether it is governor or it is the very first steam engine that is very first steam engine that was totally based upon basically the concept of that single slider crank mechanism was the mechanism for that engine, and each and every configuration whatever related to Sir James Watt in general we study in theory of machine. So my dear, theory of machine is a wonderful subject. And my dear, when we are talking about this subject, it consists of basically three parts. One is kinematics of machine, dynamics of machine, as well as vibrations. And my dear, these three parts, kinematics of machine, dynamics of machine and vibration, you study in different semesters of your college. And my dear, when you study your BTech, in your BTech, these three subjects comes under different semesters. And you know there are mass bunks in all the three subjects because they are said to be the most difficult one. But my dear, after following this lecture, you will not feel that these subjects are difficult, but they are very interesting as well as important also, and you are going to enjoy that because each and every configuration of Sir James Watt is related to theory of machines. And my dear, we are going to look into great detail, and behind this there is a story that how this concept came. Actually, Sir James Watt is said to be the godfather of mechanical engineering because, my dear, engineering word came from engine, and Sir James Watt was the first person to work on engine. And my dear, when we are talking about the very first engine, I am talking about steam engine, that railway engine, and my dear, locomotive engine you can say. And my dear, that engine when came into existence 90 years back, some persons also tried for that, but he was unable to make that. And Sir James Watt was also successful in his third attempt for that. So my dear, each and everything related to this, we are going to study in a great detail in this subject. Before entering into that, let us discuss a very small very small introduction over mechanical engineering. So my dear, when we are talking about mechanical engineering, so in short form, mechanical engineering can be said to be engineering of mechanics. But whenever I say it is engineering of mechanics, then some student thinks about engineering mechanics. I am not saying engineering mechanics, I am saying engineering of mechanics. Engineering mechanics is a very small subject. Yes, we are going to use the principle of engineering mechanics in this subject, but if I am talking about for the timing, it is engineering of mechanics. And my dear, yes, here mechanics is definitely the study of motion. And if it is study of motion, you know, if somebody is at rest and we want it to come into the motion, so definitely for that case we need to apply some forces. And my dear, when we are talking about study of motion, we know that motion came into existence or picture only because of forces. But my dear, for the same, the study of motion can be done in two ways. One is without considering the main cause, means forces. And my dear, this study which is without considering the cause of the motion, that is force, my dear, referred as kinematics. So this study is referred as kinematics. And my dear, at the same time, when we are going to study the motion, considering the forces, that is basic cause, that considering forces when we are talking about, so my dear, this study is referred as dynamics. So my dear, when we are talking about this kinematics and dynamics, so kinematics, dynamics, when we are talking about, some student think about that. When in kinematics we cannot consider the forces, then how we will study the kinematics? So my dear, for kinematic study, we are having different tools like displacement, velocity, acceleration and jerk. All knows velocity is ds by dt, acceleration is dv by dt, but my dear, some students are confused about jerk. This is my dear da by dt. Still some students thought that, sir, we don't have the feeling of jerks. My dear, I would like to tell you that you all have the feel of jerk. How? My dear, sometimes to show our friends some stunts, what we do is we sit on our Activa bike and we just rotate the accelerator. We just apply the accelerator on the standing Activa after starting. And my dear, when we do so, such kind of things, we generally feel some kind of jerks or some kind of vibrations. And my dear, those vibrations, what we feel by doing so, are only jerks. So my dear, these are the jerks. and these jerks are defined as rate of change of acceleration with respect to time. My dear, they are very very dangerous because my dear, vibration has some natural frequency, and you know, at the same time our heart is also having a natural frequency, and when our heart is having a natural frequency and you are on some vehicle which is also vibrating with some natural frequency, and you know, when two natural frequency matches, my dear, resonance occurs, and my dear, it may lead to the heart attack. So it is going to be very very dangerous thing, Jack, when we are talking about. So when you are doing such kind of trick, please make sure that there is nobody behind you, because you can do this to yourself, but you shall not do to some others. And if somebody is behind you and if he has already gone through one or two heart attacks, then my dear, definitely it is going to be section 302, because it is going to be a time to the murder. Just kidding. So my dear, jerk produces vibrations, and my dear, these vibrations are very very dangerous. So definitely when we are talking about these tools, you can see that acceleration also is there. So these are the tools to study the kinematics. At the same time, my dear, when we are talking about the dynamics, so dynamics, when we are talking about dynamics, we are saying that we can use the term force. And my dear, when we are using the term force, we know Newton's second law of motion, my dear, is enough to study. And my dear, the second law of motion says F is equals to mass into acceleration. So my dear, you can see that acceleration is present here, acceleration is present here also. So my dear, acceleration is present in both kinematics and dynamics, but my dear, at the same time, mass is present in dynamics but not present in kinematics. So in other words, you can also say that in kinematics mass is not there. Some students again confusing that. So what is the meaning of that? So my dear, for clarification, I would like to give you one more example. You have listened already one term in fluid mechanics, that is dynamic viscosity. And my dear, this is known as dynamic viscosity. And this dynamic viscosity, when we are talking about, has kg in its units. And my dear, when this kinematic viscosity is divided by rho, density, so my dear, kg of kinematic, kg of density, kg of dynamic viscosity and kg of density, they get cancelled out, and my dear, the term becomes kinematic viscosity. So my dear, when a dynamic term is divided by the mass, it becomes kinematic. So it becomes kinematic and it is kinematic viscosity. So my dear, this is the point I would like to tell you here, that kinematics is something dynamics per unit mass, or in other words you can say in dynamics mass is there, in kinematics mass is not there. And my dear, at the same time I would like to tell you that kinematic study is the first need to go for dynamics, because my dear, when you are going for kinematics, you are having some acceleration, and my dear, then after acceleration, you are having acceleration, just multiply it by mass, you will be having force. So my dear, kinematic studies must to study dynamics, and my dear, this thing you can see throughout whenever you have studied mechanics, this thing follows. For example, for the very first time you have studied that part when you were studying basically mechanics in your +1 class. Then at that time you have seen that the first chapter was units and dimensions, second was kinematics, after that the laws of motion, then laws of motion is dynamics. So dynamics comes after the kinematics. And my dear, then in engineering you have seen engineering mechanics, first statics, then kinematics, then dynamics. Then in fluid mechanics you have seen the same things, my dear. In fluid mechanics first chapter was units and dimensions, first chapter was properties of fluid, then it was fluid kinematics, then it was fluid dynamics. So my dear, the same thing follows again. And at the same time, one more thing I would like to tell you here, my dear, that when we have studied the theory of machines, then also we have studied first kinematics of machine, then dynamics of machine, and then my dear, vibration. So you should be very clear about that, that the first step is to study kinematics, then dynamics. Without kinematic study, dynamics cannot be studied. So my dear, it is not possible, and if something is doing that, it is totally wrong. Without kinematic study, dynamic study is not possible. So my dear, this was a small introduction about theory of machines, and now we are going to see some other terms like scalar, vector and tensor. Let us see. So guys, now let us see to some terms, scalar, vector and tensor. So my dear, scalar, vector and tensor, these are the things you have studied from very basic in +1 class also. But my dear, whenever I ask these terms, student answer it wrongly. Sometimes, let us say, when I am asking from you that what are scalar quantities, many of you will be having in mind that sir, scalars are the quantities having magnitude only. And my dear, when I am asking about vector, then you will say, sir, vectors are the quantities having both magnitude and direction. So my dear, I would like to tell you these definitions are itself wrong. So whenever you are saying that scalars are the quantities having magnitude only, it is wrong. Why I am saying that? My dear, you are knowing about a quantity, about a term known as pressure. And my dear, when I am talking about pressure, you will be saying that, sir, in this room the pressure is 1 atmosphere. Yes, you will be saying that. And my dear, you will be not saying the direction, but my dear, we all know that pressure acts normal to the surface. Means on this surface, pressure is acting like this. On me, pressure is acting like this, like this, like this, because it always acts perpendicular to the surface. And if this is the case, my dear, when it is acting perpendicular to the surface, so obviously direction is there with the pressure, and my dear, it is not only single, it is having many directions. So as per the your definition, my dear, you will be saying that, sir, pressure is a vector or tensor quantity maybe, but my dear, pressure is scalar, you all know that. So my dear, the reason is, now some people may thought that, sir, maybe, sir, that scalar quantities, when we are talking about pressure may be exception. So my dear, no, pressure is not at all exception. The real thing is your definition is wrong. But in real cases, scalar quantities are defined as the quantities for which to define only magnitudes are required. Scalars are the quantities for which to define only magnitudes are required. So my dear, you were saying that scalars are having magnitude only. I am saying that to define the scalar only magnitudes are required. Means they may have direction, but my dear, to define a scalar we need not to tell the direction, because either if the direction is not there, then it is okay, but if the direction is there, that will be known to all. So my dear, we need not to tell the direction. So scalars are the quantities for which to define only magnitudes are required. This is the correct definition of scalars, but to make some simplifying English, we have done it wrongly, we have explained it wrongly in the previous when we have studied these terms. But real definition, you can now check any of the textbook, there it is written only that scalars are the quantities for which to define only magnitudes are required. So my dear, similarly, pressure is the example. Vectors, when we are talking about, vectors are the quantities for which to define both magnitude and direction are required. Vectors are the quantities for which to define both magnitude and direction are required. And my dear, when we are talking about vectors, now you will be thinking, sir, why here to tell the direction is compulsory? So my dear, let us take an example. Let us say I am saying you that I am going to apply some 100 Newton force on this board, and I would like to know, as per your perception, where will the board go? So you will be saying, sir, first tell me the direction of force. If you are applying that 100 Newton this way, the board will remain same, stationary. But if you are applying the forces from the sideways, maybe board may move for that force, because of that force. One more example we can take. Let us say I am saying that I am moving with a velocity of 5 meters per second, and I am asking where will I reach after 2 seconds. You will again ask me, sir, please tell the direction. Then only we can tell you that where you will reach after 2 seconds. So my dear, that is why in vectors you need to tell the direction. So vectors are the quantities for which to define both magnitude and directions are required. Now my dear, we are coming to tensor. Many of the students generally don't know about tensors. Tensors are the quantities for which to define more than one magnitude and directions are required. For example, moment of inertia. You know, Ixx is different, Iyy is different, Izz is different, because when axis changes, the value changes. It means more than one magnitude, more than one directions are required. Such quantities are known as tensor quantities. Similarly, my dear, if you're talking about stresses, you know, one is normal stress, other is shear stress. If we are talking about normal and shear stresses, you know both are having different magnitudes and different directions. So again, stress is a tensor quantity. Similar with the strain is also a tensor quantity. So my dear, this is my hobby that in general when I am teaching any subject, I generally used to discuss some interview questions in between, so that you can take the advantage of that, and those questions will be directly asked to you in the various technical examinations or in the various interviews of IITs or in PSUs or engineering services or civil services or PSCs examinations or interviews, whatever. So my dear, these things are going to be very, very important for you, so please listen carefully. A question that also I have faced that question, so I would like to introduce that question to you, that you might be knowing first of all that how stresses are represented. So I'm not going in depth to that, because those things I have already taught in the strength of material. So I'm just writing how the stress tensor you have written in strength of material. You have written here like this, sigma xx, and the way of writing was here there was three faces xyz. here three direction x, y, z, and by simple using the principle of matrices, you can write sigma xx, you can write here tau xy, and you can write here tau xz, and mind you can write here tau yx. This is sigma yy, this is tau yz, this is tau zx, this is tau zy, and this is sigma zz. And mind you, this is a 3 by 3 matrix, and you know this matrix is generally known as, this is Cauchy's stress tensor. And my dear, when it is Cauchy's stress tensor, if it is Cauchy's stress tensor, so my dear, these are, you know that these are three normal stresses, these are shear stresses. So we are having 9 magnitudes and direction here. And my dear, at the same time, you might have listened to one word, that is principal stresses. I am not going towards the definition, but the question generally asked is, you might be knowing about principal stresses, what they are from the strength of material knowledge. And when they ask, generally students say, yes, I know about the principal stresses. So my dear, they ask, what are the methods to find out the principal stresses? And they generally ask, there are 3 methods, please tell all the 3. And in general, my dear, all the students are knowing 2 methods. The very first method to find out principal stresses is the formula 1, sigma 1 comma 2 are defined as sigma xx plus sigma yy by 2, and my dear, plus minus this we have derived in strength of material. So sigma xx minus sigma yy by 2 whole square plus tau xy whole square. And my dear, at the same time, this is principal stresses, the first way to find out. Second way is Mohr circle, and my dear, these 2 ways are known to all, but my dear, then examiner stick to, I want to know the third one. In general, sometimes it also happens that first 2 ways examiner tell you in the interviews that these are the 2 ways, tell me the third one. So my dear, in such conditions, you have never ever seen the third way in the textbooks, neither in some lectures. So in such situation we get confused, my dear, because our mathematics is also not so good that we can find out the third way if our mathematics is good. Because what happened is, when mathematics we study, some person says us eigenvalue, eigenvector, we never go to the meaning of that. We just learn how eigenvalues are calculated, how eigenvectors are calculated. Somebody is saying complementary function, particular integral. We never goes to the meaning of that. We just find out the ways how CF and PI are calculated. That is the major issue with us, my dear, and that is the reason why that we are unable to take the advantage to have that feel of engineering for which we came into the engineering. My dear, whenever we thought for the engineering for the first time, we were very, very excited that how wonderful the engineering will be. And when we take the admissions into engineering colleges, and my dear, at that time, we feel that it is not like that what we have thought. It was only to just mugging up the things and writing in the paper, this is engineering. But my dear, yes, engineering is very, very wonderful if you are going through it with the proper concepts. So my dear, here I am going to tell you the third way to find out the principal stresses. This is a Cauchy stress tensor, and my dear, you know, for matrix there are some things known as eigenvectors, and at the same time there are some things known as eigenvalues. So my dear, eigenvectors of this Cauchy stress tensor gives us the principal planes. And my dear, at the same time, eigenvalues gives the principal stresses. And my dear, in mathematics as well as in strength of material, I already told you that why it is so by telling you the meaning of eigenvalues and eigenvector. So when we are discussing the meaning of eigenvalues and eigenvector, then this third point you will be able to understand, not only understand, you can explain why it is so. So my dear, this is the benefit when you are studying the mathematics properly with their meanings, with the meaning of the terms, what CF is, what PI is, what eigenvalues are, what eigenvectors is. So my dear, this is how the things are going to be. So if you want to study the things in that manner, then keep watching. And my dear, this is how, this is the interview question I have discussed. And with this, now I am going to show you the content which we are going to study in theory of machines. One by one I am going to give you the chapter's name. The very first chapter we are going to study is going to be simple mechanisms. And my dear, when I am talking about simple mechanism, it is the biggest topic of theory of machines except vibration, because vibration I am saying as a different subjects. In the theory of machines we are going to study only. And my dear, this simple mechanism is going to be for 2 marks minimum every year it is asked. And my dear, after that simple mechanism we are going to see the velocity and acceleration analysis, velocity and acceleration analysis. And my dear, after this analysis, we are going to go for the gears and gear trains, And my dear, when we are talking about this topic, this is again the heart of the subject, because I don't know whenever you will be looking into the previous year's question, I never find a year in which gears are not been asked. They are always been asked for minimum of 2 marks. Sometimes they may come for 4 to 5 marks also, in which machine design concepts, law of gearing are also, as well as that is the Lewis equations are also included if gears comes for 4 to 5 marks. After that, gears and gear trains, my dear, we are going to see the kinematics and dynamic analysis of single slider crank mechanism. With this, we are going to move to the flywheels, and my dear, after flywheels, we are going to move to the balancing, and after balancing, we are going to start the vibrations. And my dear, when we are talking about the weightages of the subjects, as I already told you, for this one question is confirmed, And my dear, when we are talking about these topics, they together may give you one question. Balancing, when we are talking about the questions answered till date are very less. In 2 years, one question came. Same the case with the velocity acceleration analysis. But my dear, vibrations are going to be very, very important. 6 to 8 marks of vibrations comes every year. But velocity accelerations, sometimes if asked, sometimes when this is asked, this question from simple mechanism generally is not asked, and in that case, because these two chapters somewhere are considered together. So, but major time this is asked, and after that vibrations, there are some other topics like we will be going for governors. And my dear, governors, balancing, gyroscopes, as well as cams and follower, they are the new topics added to the GATE syllabus in 2016. So till date, governors are not been asked in paper, but definitely soon they are going to come. And whatever is the course, we shall go with equal intensity of all the topics from first to the last one. So definitely we shall go for governor in the same way as we are going to go with the other topics of theory of machines. The 9th is going to be cams and follower, and my dear, the 10th one, the last, is going to be gyroscope. So my dear, when we are talking about these topics, gyroscopes is very, very important. From 2016, every year the question came from gyroscope, but cams and follower only once asked, because my dear, these 10 topics have a weightage of 12 to 15 marks. So my dear, in this obviously everything cannot be asked, but my dear, we are going to cover each and everything very great detail, and so that you can be benefited from this. So this was just an introduction, and my dear, for textbook, if you want, Amitabh Ghosh is the best one for this subject, theory of machines. And my dear, at the same time, if you are following the classes, you need not to go for any textbook, and previous year's question sets as well as some practice sets, obviously we will be providing when we are going to start the course. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in theory of machines, along with the weightages I told you. And generally more important one are first, second, third, they are more important. There are somehow less important. Balancing is somehow less important. This is most important. Then out of these three, gyroscope is more, they are less important. But my dear, I cannot say that question will not be asked from any of the topic. It may come from any of the topic, and my dear, we must be prepared for that in any way. So hope you guys got these things what I have told you in this theory of machines introductory part. And obviously, when we will be starting, we will be looking into great detail. This was just an introduction of the subject, nothing more than that. So hope you enjoy.